So I got some news you can lose. Today, apparently, Ahhh the Iranians from Iran announced that he is sending the Iranian Army Department of the Iranian Navy, which falls under the Army, figure that one out. He's going to have them start patrolling the Atlantic coastline of the United States. This guy is a friggin' genius. And apparently he made mention that the United States is always over in the Persian Gulf patrolling their coast, which I'll tell you more about that later. So he is going to send his Navy, which consists of some old, probably Spruance class U.S. Navy ships and some other crap they bought from Russia. He's going to send them through the Suez Canal. Yep, they're going to do it again. And they're going to come over here through the Med and patrol our coastline. Which, you know, they will kindly, very kindly respect our 12-mile limit. So, when I was in the Navy and we'd go over to the Persian Gulf, Iran claimed a 12-mile territorial limit on their waters, which we didn't really respect. We only give them 3 miles over there because the Gulf is not quite wide enough. So, according to them, we were crossing into their territorial waters, and they would send their ships out, and we'd have miniature war games, you know, without violating anyone's sovereignty. Matter of fact, we used to, on a couple ships of mine, we used to put the small boats in the water that I drove, and we would go right up to the 3-mile limit, and then their little, I don't know, Coast Guard cutter type their little patrol boats would come out and chase the small boat, namely me. At which point I would let them get, well, actually I was taking orders. They'd tell me over the radio how close to let them get. And then they'd say, okay, RTB, that's return to base, which is the ship. And then the little patrol boat would try and catch up with us, and then she likes the helmet. And then the captain of the ship would swing the guns around to point at the patrol boat, and they would promptly turn away from us and go back to their port. Typical cat and mouse games that we play. But the big thing is if they ever came out and tried to shoot at one of the Navy ships, the U.S. Navy ships, well, we'd just call the aircraft carrier, and the aircraft carrier would launch some fighters, fighter bombers, and come sink their shit. So when these clowns come over to the Atlantic coast and want to play with us, my question is, who are you going to call? Well, you're intelligent. Who are the Iranians going to call? They're not going to call nobody. Because they don't have anybody. So then we'll probably, they will probably have to get fuel in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Not Guantanamo Bay, but they'll go to the communist side because, you know, they're best of buds. So we'll see how this plays out later.